Hey, what's up, Anthony? This is a demo video for you for your long-awaited SP Sabers Shroud of the Dark Side installed with a Proffie. There is a lot of stuff going on how to operate this particular saber, especially for being as small as it is. So we're going to go over my desk and take a look at it. All right. Hey, what's up, Anthony? We are going to go over your Shroud of the Dark Side by SP Sabers and Props. My buddy Sean over there, although he's no longer in business, I know that you have been waiting on this guy for a long time, and I do apologize for that. I tried to make my portion of that wait as little as I possibly could. We're going to go a little bit different on this video. All right, normally I start with the chassis inside the saber. Today, I have started with it outside of the saber because there is so much going on. This is probably one of the more unique sabers that there is, or that I've done rather, to put a chassis in. I mean, there's a few unique ones out there. This one's pretty unique. This is your saber, obviously, with the plunger switches. First time I've seen the plunger switches, honestly. I've done 5 or 6 of these, and the last ones that I did just had these acrylic pieces that you drop in from the inside. So it was super cool to see these were upgraded to a plunger system. You had requested for these to be lit, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, or that's what I did rather. So this is my chassis design, although Sam and Dan over at Shadowfoil Props printed this for me in an SLS nylon material. So very sturdy, just says Solo Sabers over here for me. It does have the Shadowfoil Props lit PCB. So, you know, your blade connector there, it has LEDs on it. You've got Neopixel switches, so one here and one here to match. All right, that's how they're programmed in. You had asked for some Emperor fonts, so what I did was I went through Kyberphonics website, I grabbed his Emperor font, put it on here, and I grabbed KSYS's Emperor font and put it on here as well. This is your Proffie board. It is glued down to the shelf because there is so little room in here. I didn't want it popping up. But you can get to your SD card and your micro USB from right here. Take a pair of tweezers, grab that guy. You can pull that SD card out and program it. All right. Your stock pogo pins, as you can see, there's an angle here. So this speaker pod, you can see that this is not centered either. Has to be put into the saber a very particular way, and that's kind of part of the reason why we started with it outside of the saber. All right. So your speaker, this is a 28mm pancake speaker. So in order to get a 28mm speaker in this guy cleanly, you have to go with a pancake speaker, but it sounds pretty good in this guy. So I will show you how to put this in. There is a particular way. All right. You've got this and this, an 18350 battery. Now this is a removable, obviously. There's no kill switch on the chassis. There was no room for it. So you are the kill switch on this guy. When you pull the battery out, it kills the speaker. All right. So we're going to put this over here. We're going to come over here. The first thing that you're going to want to do is take this guy off right here. All right, we're going to take this piece off. This comes off in 2 pieces if you're not careful, but we can take it off right here. You can take this off if you like. It's very easy to put on now, which this is another feature it didn't have before. There's a little notch right there that lines up with that little notch right there. Before, you just kind of had to put this on and line it up, but now it finds its home very easily. But you can take those off if you like. You will need to come over here and take this screw out. All right, so we're going to take the screw out. Be careful, because when you take that out, it's in that little greebly right there. That's a 2-piece deal. All right, I'm going to leave it as 1. Well, we can drop the screw out of there. That little greebly right there. All right, so we're going to put that there. When you take that out, you need to grab this and kind of pop it off. Now, it is tight. I had to do a little bit of Dremel work to the inside of one of these notches right here. Right here, you'll never see this from the outside, but I had to Dremel that just a tiny bit to get some of this coating off so that it fit into the back of the pommel. This is, of course, your vented pommel. You also have a solid one that's in your box for display purposes. All right, now it's just a tube, but it has a different OD in there. Towards the back, I believe this was cast. All right, so how to put the speaker in, because it's not centered on the speaker pod, you have to have this lined up correctly. If you'll look at the top, I'm going to call this the top. of the speaker pod, you've got this little groove right here inside the speaker pod, this little cutout. And then on the ring of the speaker, I tried to line up that little cutout on the ring dead center to that cutout on the pod. This has to be lined up with where this screw goes, or this notch right here on the inside. All right, so that hole or that cutout lined up with the notch on the saber, if that makes sense, and it has to be perfectly right. Okay, you drop it in there, give yourself a little sanity check. You can look at that little cutout on the speaker to make sure it's lined up properly with that notch. We're good to go. Once we get that, we're going to want to take our pommel, our vented pommel. You got two pieces here that need to go in. Typically, I like to put the long one in first. It goes right over the speaker. All right, and then kind of come over here, push in the other one, hold it in there. You're good to go. You see that hole line up. So now we can take this little greebly, we can put it there. We can take this little screw here, put it inside the greebly, lock this guy down. A lot of work, I know. It was the only way to do it though, or the only way that I knew how to do it. But lock it down till it's tight. That's good to go right there. All right, speaker's in. Now we're gonna come over here. We're gonna take our battery. I just took the sticker off. This is a keep power battery. I just took the sticker off. All right, spring size, you're negative. All right, so we'll put that in there. You're gonna see your switches pulsing, which is something that you asked me. You said you wanted them to have a slow pulse. So when your speaker is in there, now you can come over here. When you put this, the chassis goes in through the emitter and it comes back out through the emitter. And when you're pulling it or pushing it in, you want to make sure that you've got your red or your green switches lined up with your plunger switches. And when you do, it goes right in. All right, so we'll carefully and gently with your finger push it all the way back. You can give yourself a sanity check right here. You can hit auxiliary.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
All right, we're good because we have sound. So we're going to put this back on. We're going to come over here. We're going to put this on. Now, if I turn this off, this light off rather, you can see your switches pulsing. All right, red is power. Green is auxiliary. And you've got twist off. If you hit auxiliary, you go to the other sound font.
The one true emperor.
So you got LEDs in there. This is made, I believe, for, yes, a 7/8 inch blade. I'm just gonna hold the blade in there for now and show you that it fires up. This is my little test blade, but if we hit power, lights up a blade very well. The other sound font as well.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
All right, and then if you want to play your soundtracks, because they each have one, do a long press on your power. That's that one. We'll turn it off by another long press.
The one true emperor.
We'll play this one. And then turn it off with a long press. All right, now when you want to take the chassis out, we will need to do everything we just did. So I'll do it a little faster since I already explained it. All right, we'll take those two pieces out. Come over here, we'll take the screw out. Pop this off with the greebly. Come over here and pop this pommel off. All right, your speaker will fall out into your hand. At this point, you'll see your chassis right there. You can just take your thumb, push it forward until you can pull it out with your hand just like that. And then you'll just take your battery out from the positive side, which is over here by your PCB. So that is basically how you work this Emperor hilt. And then we'll put it back together for shipping. Actually, I'm not going to put it back together yet. I'll put it back together off camera because I want to put the chassis in it before I send it to you. But that is basically how you work that Emperor hilt. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get this out in the mail to you as soon as we square up. All right, thanks, man.